And good morning. It's now 7:04. It's Wednesday, January 5th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Wednesday morning right here in the middle of the week, and we're glad to have you with us. And, of course, each Wednesday at this time, we're glad to be on the air for Cedar Stone Bank. Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. And here he is this morning, my friend Bob McDonald. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
How are you?
Great. Great to be with you. You're my friend, too.
Well, thank you.
And Happy New Year. Great to be with you.
It's great to have you here. And because of yesterday and the day before, I guess you still got that heavy coat.
I
this
do.
morning.
I do. You can see.
It's not that cold out there today.
Well, it's, guys,
but
when I
that
came
wind
in.
it's just disagreeable.
Yeah, it should be sunny. You notice I did take it off this morning, unlike last week. So it was not too difficult to do that.
Did Susan ask you what we were going to
She
talk
did,
about?
yeah. She asked me as I hit the door what we're going to talk about. She knows the answer is I have no idea, and then she always says to tell you hello, and she told me to tell you Happy New Year.
All right. Well, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
What is it like here at the beginning of January? I mean, you have anticipation. You set your goals. You've been here a good while. You had a good year.
Right. There's a lot of excitement. At the beginning of each year, we have a lot of excitement. We have a lot of positive attitudes about where this year will be going. Of course, we have a positive attitude every year, but we just look forward to the new year. We worked our regular schedule on Friday. We always work our regular schedule on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. That's a busy day for us, Coleman. I think I forgot to mention that last week, but that's a busy day for us. Customers are coming in trying to do some last-minute banking, whether it's individuals or businesses, and so we want to be there for our customers and make sure that we take care of them on that last day of the year. And so it's business as usual, but we always enter into the new year with a little more, excitement.
Well, you've of course, loans is a lot of what you do. You make money by lending money. That's the idea.
That's right.
And I feel like you've got your share of the market here. You made a lot of loans last year.
We did make a lot of loans last year, Coleman, and the overall expectation for the banking industry is that loan demand will grow even more this year than it did last year. Now, I need to point out that last year we had that second year of government stimulus with those Small Business Administration Paycheck Protection Program loans, but we don't expect that type of program to be out this year. But when you carve those loans out, loan demand was still good for 2021, and it's expected that it will be even better, slightly better for this year. So we look forward to that. There's a lot of optimism out in the economy. Individuals and families are optimistic about the new year. Unemployment, as you know, is very low. There's a lot of job openings. People are leaving jobs because they know they can go find another job quickly, probably. And so there's a lot of a positive attitude about employment. You saw the stock market close yesterday at another all-time high for at least the second day in a row. And, of course, there'll probably be a correction in the coming days, right? I mean, whenever you have a big gain like that, there's usually a correction, but still. So that just indicates that there's a lot of positive views on 2022.
You have three distinct locations, and the market's got to be a little bit different in Donaldson from Mount Juliet and Mount Juliet from Lebanon, but as far as overall demand for loans, has that been pretty steady in all three?
It is, and that's a good point you make. Each of our markets, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson, they're all different. They're all distinct. The customers all have slightly different needs. They all are in slightly different types of businesses, but they also complement one another, and so. Which is a great characteristic to have. When we know that Mount Juliet and Donaldson are different, they still complement one another. Same thing goes with Lebanon. But the loan demand is consistent with all three. Some types of loans might be more in one office than another, so you might see the composition or the mix of loans be a little different from one office to another, but overall the demand remains the same.
Well, I know you're going to continue that Simply Better free checking account for the year 2022 and probably for the future existence of Cedarstone.
We will.
It's a wonderful product. It really is.
It's a great product, and it's been the cornerstone of our bank from the very beginning since we opened in April of 2004. It's hard to believe we'll be celebrating our 18th anniversary this April. And but we think it's important, and everyone needs that account, Coleman, irregardless of your age or what you do. It's completely free. It's free checks. You can use your ATM or debit card in any ATM around the world, and it's free. So you can do your banking. You can go online. You can do your banking over the telephone. You can come see us in one of our nice offices.
Well, that pretty much says it right there. I mean, that is a good way to start. That's a great way to start a relationship, and it doesn't cost you $50 in your account and get started, and Katie bar the door.
That's right. That's right. So we look forward to doing more of those accounts this year, Coleman, and again, it's great to kick off the new year with you this morning.
All right. Well, we wish you the best, and we'll do it again next Wednesday.
Thanks, Coleman.
Bob McDonald, President, CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. We're 10 minutes after the hour, and here on this Wednesday, it's the first Wednesday of January. And what do we do on the first Wednesday of each month? We feature somebody from the UT Extension Office, and we've got the head man this morning, Lucas Holman. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Coleman. How are you?
All right, you are the county director, and were appointed. You actually was appointed to that position early last year. I think I don't remember what month, but I had it when I did.
I think it was March or April.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember myself.
But you already were, I guess, were acting county director. Miss Ruth had been gone for a little while, but you were there, worked with her for a while, and I guess we might say got your feet wet there, although I think you've had your feet wet as far as gardening and the horticulture and all this for a long time. You have a wealth of knowledge up here in your noggin about all of that.
Most of it's made up at this point. No. And I enjoy doing a lot of stuff. It's hard for me to make a recommendation on a variety of tomato if I haven't grown a variety of tomatoes. So I try to kill a lot of stuff every year. So when someone asks me, well, have you ever tried asparagus? Well, yeah, let me tell you my experiences with this or whatever. So that's why I try to grow so many random things. I want to see the challenges people are having.
Well, what's it like here in January as you start another year at your office, and kind of what's going on? What you have a meeting, set goals, or everybody just know what they're supposed to do?
We know each staff member has goals set for the year, so we kind of have things that we want to work on. And COVID has kind of shut down a lot of our meetings and things like that for the past couple of years, and we're kind of starting to maybe open up, but then we're also watching the news, so we don't know what's going to happen. So some of our meetings that we normally have in person, we're able to do them on Zoom and things like that. So it works out better. So we're able to meet with some of our clients via Zoom, especially some of our older clients who don't drive at night anymore. If we have a meeting at 7 o'clock at night, we can still meet with them. Mesher gardeners or something like that. It still works out, but we're still getting plenty of calls and plenty of questions in our office every day.
Well, are you fully staffed now? You have an adequate staff to get
We actually have a position open right now. So if someone is looking for an extension agent job in the field of agriculture, we would love to have you apply for our job. I actually think that it closes January the 16th, so we've still got about 10 or 11 days. Mm-hmm. So if anybody listening has questions about it, they can call my office. I'm there the rest of this week pretty much, mostly working on paperwork.
I suppose there's some qualifications, background is going to play a big part in this. And you can't just hire somebody off the street.
Correct. They have to have a bachelor's degree in agriculture or some facet of agriculture, animal science, plant science, something like that that's agriculturally based. Mm-hmm. So that's most of the qualifications is the degree.
And that's pretty much it then.
That's pretty much it. And a lot of it does go back to experiences that people have. It's hard to have a someone to talk about something when they don't really have experience about it. Also, it would be hard for me to talk about something that I don't know anything about.
Yeah, right. Well, what are we similar to the other 94 counties in Tennessee? I guess nearly every county has its UT Extension office.
Every county has one.
So there's 95 of them.
And they all have like a 4-H extension agent, agriculture, and then they all normally have a family and consumer science, which we used to call home ec agents a number of years ago. But some of the larger counties will have like horticulture agents or animal science agents or some who's just focused on row crops. It kind of depends on the clientele of the county.
You certainly need to fit your office to the needs of the community.
Correct.
And that I'm sure that varies. And large counties would be different from smaller counties.
Correct.
Too.
So, I mean, we don't normally have an extension agent directed toward row crops, but if you were to go to West Tennessee, you'll have extension agents who are focused on cotton production and things like that. And we don't have cotton. We don't have tobacco anymore. Some of these things we just don't have anymore in Wilson County. So it does based upon the clientele needs of the county.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break right here. Lucas Holman, the county director for the UT Extension office, is here, and we've got more to talk about in a moment on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Interstate traffic starting to pick up a little bit better than it was a few minutes ago on 65 southbound. Now it's still slow as you approach Trinity Lane. They moved this crash down here closer to the north loop on 65 southbound, just south of Trinity Lane. You'll come up on that accident. It's kind of in a tricky spot there, so watch for it. Princess Hot Chicken now available for catering. Check them out at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
A.G. & Johnson is your experienced real estate and auction company, specializing in residential, commercial, and personal property auctions. Did you know that auctions are a fast and efficient way to sell your property? Auctions reduce time on the market and have an exact selling date. Call us for an in-home consultation today at 615-444-0909. A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main Street in Lebanon, or find us online at agandjohnson.com. Voted best auction company in Wilson County.
A loaded offense.
Tannehill with the finger roll. Arthur, Juan Brown carrying the
A 2,000-yard king.
Derrick Henry to Peter.
And now, Julio Jones.
Touchdown, Titans.
Brought to you by Bakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Mall Plumbing, the Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas in Tennessee. 811, call before you dig.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
For joining us, quick reminder here. Tracy Pope has sent me word that the American Red Cross Blood Mobile they'll have a blood drive at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital on Tuesday, January 11th from 12 noon to 5 p.m. And you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcrossblood.org and enter sponsor code Vanderbilt Wilson County to schedule your appointment. That's next Tuesday, January 11th, 12 noon to 5 p.m. Lucas Holman is here. We don't have an agenda. Usually we sit here and have a conversation, but is anything in particular? You mentioned that you've got the job opportunity, but other than a vacancy in your office, anything else you specifically wanted to get out this morning?
We have Master Gardener class starting next month, so we're taking applications now for that. Our class is going to be a little different this spring. Our class is actually going to be Wednesday mornings from 9 to 12. We generally do a nighttime class, and because of just a lot of scheduling things, we've decided to try a daytime class, especially for some who don't drive.
I recall this ever being done here before.
Right. We've always done it at night and things like that, but we were just because of some scheduling, and we need another extension agent to help out with some things. We're going to have a daytime class this spring. So we emailed a long list of people yesterday who were interested in taking the class, and we've gotten some feedback from them and things like that. So we are probably going to try to limit it to about 30 people. and we normally have a large class.
Well, chances are there's some people whose schedule this will fit that maybe the night thing.
100%. And we have some master gardeners who don't like driving at night and things like that. So we think we may have a nighttime class in the fall, and then maybe springtime classes are during the day so that we can kind of reach both groups of people.
Well, the Master Gardener program's been going for a long time, and I'm trying to remember which county agent.
JW started it.
JW started
Yep.
it? Okay.
Yep.
Well,
that was a long time ago.
He started something. I guess this is done. Is this done all over the state?
It is. Well, most counties have it. Some of the more rural counties don't have it. They normally partner up with someone. So we have people coming from Trousdale County. We have people from Smith County. We have people from DeKalb County. Basically, a lot of the counties that are touching us, they all come to us. We have a pretty large and active group of master gardeners. They're a pretty rowdy group sometimes.
Well, you've. I don't think we can specifically say once a master gardener, always a master gardener, but that is true with so many people, and there's a lot who have really given to the community, to something that they're pleased to be a part of later on, which I think speaks well for the whole thing.
It's a volunteer-based program, so technically, in order to keep your certification, you have to volunteer back so many hours during the year. Most of our hours come during the fair. So a lot of people, it's only 25 hours to keep it up. A lot of them will knock those hours out during the flower show or the fruit and vegetable show or something like that, because we host a lot of the shows at the fair.
But you've done a lot of things. You've made improvements. I mean, and you hear master gardeners mentioned many times with some project that's done or something that they've done. And this isn't just a current class. It's the graduates who stay on.
Yeah, and they all have their own projects that they're focused on. So we have projects at Charlie Daniels Park, Mount Juliet Library, Cedars of Lebanon, the fairgrounds. We have demonstration beds, we call them, and vegetable beds where we donate produce all over the county. And I think we have 17 or 18 projects going on. And normally when one latches onto it, they'll stay with that project for a while.
Yeah. Well, do you have the same curriculum? You have the same discussions every year, or does that vary too?
Normally it stays the same. So a lot of our beds and things like at Charlie Daniels Park, they just kind of stay the same, but we normally recruit new volunteers every year to help out with some of those things. But we have such a large class every year, we always get new ideas from those people. So we don't shun ideas or anything like that. We like to keep things active and going all the time.
And what's this, a 3-hour class? Is that
40?
Well, I mean,
each class is 3 hours. Yeah. Then we have 12, 13 weeks of classes. So it's 36 to 40 hours of classes.
Well, now, somebody could get sick or that could be a legitimate reason to miss a
80%. You got to attend 80%.
Okay.
So that's the textbook rule.
You're anticipating my question there, and that's good.
Oh, yeah. And we get asked that a lot.
If you're there 80% of the time, that'll satisfy the requirement. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to say about that?
Not really, but if you are interested in becoming a master gardener, we have the applications in our office, and we're going to probably limit it to about 30 in this class.
Can you get it online?
I can email it. It's not online yet. We just finished it yesterday.
Oh, all right. But you could email it to somebody.
Oh, yeah. If someone wants to email me, they can. And I'm in my office all day today working on other things. And I would love to chat with whoever wants to know about it.
Okay. Or anybody that's interested in being another agent
Correct.
for your office.
Or a job.
Well, what do you read the Farmer's Almanac?
I don't, and I know I have people ask me, and they'll say, well, the Farmer's Almanac, I should plant this today. What do you think? Well, I don't, I have an opinion about everything, and if that works for you, you stick with it. I am not going to argue with you. It's hard to argue with someone who's 60, and I'm in my 30s.
The thing that is I've always been amused with that, or there used to be a calendar people would have, and it would predict the weather that you're going to have. And you think back, those calendars or those those things are printed maybe a year ahead of time. How in the world can they know? And really, all they can do is go on the track record of years before.
Correct.
Other than that, I don't see much.
We have 2 calendars in our office that are free. One's a vegetable gardening calendar, but it doesn't have the weather. It mostly tells what you're supposed to be doing each month of the year, and then I have a beef calendar if there's any left. The weather, weathermen have been always correct in my experience, right? They're always right. Boy, I had no clue we were going to get rain, or snow 2 days ago. I looked out my window 2 nights ago and I said, "You've got to be kidding me." It was 4 inches. I live on the south end of the county.
Yeah.
Hit or miss.
They talked about some possible snow, and I'm thinking
Yep.
the ground probably won't get covered good.
That's what I thought. Boy, I was wrong.
Yeah, it had 4 inches on top of my car the next morning.
And the problem was we had some plants re-leafing out. So some of the woody shrubs had already sent out new growth. There's no way some of these are going to survive the tips. They may get burned back to the ground.
Yeah.
But I've seen pictures of things starting to flower, and I thought, oh no, and then 4 inches of snow on top of it.
Well, when I mentioned the calendar, I was thinking about what the year might hold, and I mean, you set your goals. The weather always plays a part
Yep.
in I mean, if we have an early frost, or I mean a late frost, it gets all the peaches, for
Yeah.
example. I mean, those kind of things happen from time to time, and I don't know that there's much way that can be predicted. And if you just grow your crop, you do your trees, whatever, and hope for the best.
And that's all gardening. Every year when you plant tomatoes, are they always successful?
No.
Okay. And it's hit or miss.
Some more than others. for
Understand,
sure.
yeah. And I have good years and I have bad years on this stuff. And I think that's, farming, I think, and gardening is a gamble every year. And we kind of have that hope and anticipation. When we plant that seed, yep, I'm going to get that watermelon, or I'm going to get some apples off that tree. So it's always a gamble.
Do we have there are some people who have the peach orchards who do quite well. Do we have many apples in this area?
The 2 that have peaches have some apples, and we have a couple of other smaller orchards that's been planting some stuff. I don't think they have anything ready yet. And I wish more people would support a lot of our local farmers, because I think if it's a crop that can successfully be grown in the Southeast, we have a farmer raising it here. Yeah. We have farmers raising all types of protein and all types of vegetables and fruits and things. I think we can find somebody to fit the bill for whatever you're looking for.
What about strawberries?
Yep. Yeah, we have some people with some. Yep, Circle S off 109, Donnie Steed, Lily Steed. They have some strawberry. They planted just a month ago, I guess, 2 months ago. So we have people with strawberries, and they have blueberries. In the last month, we've kind of had people looking for local Christmas trees, and we have a couple of local Christmas tree farms on this side of the county. So
is anything in particular that comes to your mind that would, I mean, it's got to be somebody who really wants to, it's sort of like going into business. You hang your shingle out there. You may be successful, you may not. The same thing when you start a strawberry farm or berries or peaches or whatever it might be. But are there some things maybe that would really be good if somebody would do them here?
I think 90% of the battle that people have is marketing their product, trying to sell it when it's ripe. So every year we get questions at the beginning of the year, and I'll get these questions now. They're saying, I'm going to raise 5 acres of something. What would be the most profitable? And I'll say, well,
that's kind of what I'm asking.
And that's the question you're asking. And I can't say for sure. And it depends on their experience, their land, their soil type. And sometimes it depends on finding out what people are going to buy. And I'll say, you need to go visit some of the local places and say, what would you buy locally? And I think before you go ahead and plant 5 acres of pumpkins, go ahead and have your ducks lined up for people to buy them, stores perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know that it'd be any idea to anybody, but if you go to some of the farmers markets and see what the produce that they are presenting there, and the ones that are really popular.
Yep, and we have various farmers markets throughout the county too, all the way from Mount Juliet, Lebanon, Watertown, and we all in between. we have a lot of people who just have stands at their own properties and stuff. So, and I wish more people would support some of the local places. So I taught a class for Leadership Wilson a couple of months ago, and there was probably 40 people in the room. And I said, how many of you have bought a local product from a farmer in the past week? And I think only 3 or 4 people raised their hand.
Oh, really?
So I said, why have you not done that? And their answer was convenience. Yeah. We can go to the store and get everything we want at one time. And that would be a challenge. You get your pork from one farmer, you drive somewhere else to get your tomatoes, then you drive somewhere else to get your strawberries. I can understand the challenges with that. But I wanted to at least get the wheels turning.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we've got about 30 seconds here this morning. It's nice to see you. Hope that things go well in your office. Might mention again you're looking for an agent.
And the agricultural extension agent. So agriculture degree, if someone has questions, I'm in the office all day today. I'd love to chat with you about that. Or if you want to become a master gardener, we have that also. But use us. So,
what's the best number?
615-444-9584 is our office number. And if you just want to call me today, I can sit and talk to someone 30 minutes.
I bet you could. 9584.
Yeah.
I think I've sort of got that one up here.
Good.
444-9584. We'll give Lucas a call today. Lucas, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Coleman.
See you or your rep next month. All
Appreciate
right.
it. Thank you.
That's part 1 of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
All right, let's see what's happening on the roadways. And we want to thank our friends at Bates Ford. That regular oil change is $28.95, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, $16.73. West Main. Now in traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're filling out paperwork on this earlier crash here on 65 southbound, right at the North Loop, just past Trinity Lane. Traffic's heavy trying to get down through there. It's still moving right now through Mount Juliet. All that traffic coming through Wilson County right now seems to be pretty positive on 40 westbound all the way into Hermitage. And they're still trying to clear up a crash, 1500 block of Gallatin Pike in Madison. Princess Hot Chicken now available for catering. Check out that menu at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedar Stone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Today's forecast calls for mostly sunny skies with highs topping out in the low 50s. On Thursday, we do have a chance of a wintry mix with temperatures only climbing into the upper 30s. For Friday, highs only reach the low 30s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
And thanks for joining us on a Wednesday morning. We continue here, Coleman and Company, and ready to talk about Absolute Rental and Supply with Philip Etherly, who's here. Let me go ahead and say good morning, Philip.
Good morning, Coleman.
And I will tell everybody that you are located there on West Main Street, 1325 West Main Street. Been there for 30 years. And 20 years, going on 21. Yeah. And it's been a great time for him, and he's still doing what he did when he started, just doing it better, I guess. And that's renting everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers. 615-443-RENT is the number to remember. And the website, of course, is absoluterental.com. Absoluterental.com. Well, here we are on the first Wednesday in 2022, and we've had some snow, and they're saying it's going to snow again. I don't know what that does to you, but you can talk about it.
Snow slows us down, but there again, there's a lot of times in that specialty type stuff that people have certain needs. Then skid steers and to kind of move snow off driveways and stuff like that. We do some of that. We have to be very careful with that because a lot of people don't realize how much damage you can do with not only to the machine, but to, if you got that bucket tilted and you're headed across the parking lot and there's a valve box there and you hit it. You're going to jar that machine, and you're probably going to pull that valve box out of the asphalt. So you do have to be extremely careful doing things like that. So,
do you have snow blowers? Anybody ever call for those?
No, we don't have any snow blowers. I mean, I shouldn't say we've never had a phone call, because there's always that case where we have that once in every 10 years snow, and all of a sudden somebody thinks, oh, I'll call and get a snow blower. But we don't have that. It's just our area is not. You know how it is. Snow one day, and the next day it's back to sunshine. So, But we are busy right now. We're doing a lot of maintenance on equipment, and a lot of cleaning up equipment, and doing a lot, just going over everything really good, checking it out, making sure it's getting ready to go to the seasons. The heaters are still a popular item going out. If it's gets dry at all, a little bit, then all of a sudden the dirt moving equipment goes out. Mm-hmm. So. Like I say, there's a lot of different things, but there's no doubt we're slowed down. I always tell people from Thanksgiving till after the first year, it seems like everybody's in neutral. Nobody's really pushing to get anything done. They're just kind of waiting to get through the season. So now after the first is over, you'll see things start picking back up.
But you still have some customers every day. You don't go for a day. That phone doesn't ring or somebody doesn't come there and get something.
Yeah, the phone's still ringing constantly. There's always reservations. I think I looked on the report this morning. There was probably 10 to 15 reservations for people coming in today. We had a gentleman bringing back a Georgia Buggy. At 6:30 this morning, and that same Georgia Buggy's going out at 8 this morning. So there's always that constant flow of things going in and out.
Would you say that again and describe that piece of it?
Oh, the Georgia Buggy is a concrete buggy. This is a track deal. You've seen them on job sites where you can't actually pull the concrete truck up to where you want to get. Then you can rent one of these Georgia Buggies. It's got a yard bucket on it. It's on tracks. And this is something I came up with, but anyway, I was the first one in the Lebanon area to have a track Georgia Buggy. There used to be wheel ones, and they were very difficult because most time when you're preparing for concrete, it's a loose gravel, and you're all the time getting stuck. But then they came out with a track unit, and I got one, and man, all of a sudden you couldn't give the wheel unit away, and everybody wanted that track unit so much better. So, now I've got 2 or 3 of the track units. So, but anyway, but it is used to move concrete, primarily move concrete, get a job. There's people use them in landscaping. If they've got an area they can't get a truck back to get mulch to or whatever, they'll load the Georgia Buggy up and haul material back.
I'm sure glad you explained that.
Okay.
We'll talk about Georgia Buggies some more.
There you go.
Now, is this mostly something a contractor would get, or?
Yeah, most of the time a contractor, but like I said, there's those specific times the homeowner will call, and there again, through asking our questions, they'll say, well, we've got a gate that's this wide and so forth and so on, and you can't get a skid steer through there, but yes, you can get a Georgia Buggy through there. And so then...
Is that Georgia like the state?
Yeah, Buggy, yeah. Yeah, I don't know where that name came from. I've known it all my life as a Georgia Buggy, and so...
That's what I love about this program. You learn something every day.
every
day. Today we've learned what a Georgia
Buggy is. There you go.
And they're available at Absolute.
That's right. Call when you got a concrete pour.
So, we got about a minute. What else you want to tell us today?
Like I said, we were very appreciative. We had a good year in 2021. We're looking forward to 2022. We want to thank all our customers. I think a lot of norms have changed in worldwide or nationwide or whatever, however you want to say. But I think we've adapted well, and just keep on renting equipment.
Well, you have a great location. You have a fine team of people to serve, and you're there at convenient hours, and you're helping people get the job done, and really helping them do it right. Plus, taking care of your equipment.
That's the goal. That's the goal right there. The name of the game.
All right. Well, keep on keeping on. Have a great January, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
All right. Thank you.
Philip Heatherly, Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main in Lebanon. And again, that phone number, 615-443-RENT. We're about 22 before the hour, and Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell joins us this morning after having a city council meeting last night. And Mayor's always here a little early. You walked in about 10 after, I think, and we just got started good. You got to come in and say hello to MJ.
I do. I get to talk to MJ, and I sit in the lobby and listen to your first segment and get ready. So
Lucas is ready, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He is.
Well, we are 6 months into the fiscal year and 6 months to go, and I don't know what that has to do with anything other than you always, I would think, about this time of year, kind of take stock of where you are in the fiscal year, how expenditures are, how things are going. And I know you did some sort of mayor review not long ago, but the months run together, and I can't keep up with it all. But I think pretty much we're doing pretty well here.
We are. Right in fact, it's almost budget time again. I met with Stuart Lawson, our finance director, yesterday, and about starting the process. You know, they're going to get the documents out to the department heads here in the next week, and so they can start putting their plans together for what's coming up next year. And then Stuart and Sherry Featherston and I will get together and go over all that and meet with the department heads. So, you know, it's a process, and it starts now. So, and we're still keeping an eye on this year's budget. And as you said, things are going well. Revenues are coming in well, and my job is make sure spending stays in line, and we check that every month, and everybody's doing a good job.
Well, I had a friend who posted something on Facebook yesterday, and that was the demolition of the Sunset Restaurant building. And I can't believe how much, I don't know whether it's free or not, but it looks like it's free TV coverage that What a Burger is getting. It's opening, got one opening, I believe, in Nashville.
It is.
And the one they're going to build here hasn't even broken ground yet, I don't think.
It is. In fact, I was checking that the other day. The Whataburger here in town, actually there's two of them, and the one on 231, and there's also going to be one on 109. And the one on 231 has gone through all the approval process, so we're just waiting on them to start construction. I spoke with the property owner the other day, and they're actually leasing that property. So he and them are in the process of getting started on that. So I can't wait for it to open. But yeah, every time I see a Whataburger open, I'm wanting ours open too. And but it'll be here, I promise.
What do you know the time frame? They'd probably throw them up pretty quick as far as the building goes, but
yeah,
you got to start first.
I'm sure they have a set plan they use all over the country, and but they do have to begin, and I anticipate they'll begin here in the next month or so. You know, starting construction, and once that begins, you know, it depends on weather and everything else, but I don't anticipate it'll take too long for them to get it built and get it open.
This year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Your meeting last night.
You know, last night, was a short meeting. It was mostly a consent agenda. During the holidays, things slow down for us, just like it does for a lot of people. So, we felt that last night. A few things that were important, though, is that one thing I mentioned here a few weeks ago was, specific plans are that's something that city councilors are really looking at people right now. Instead of doing a straight rezoning, if you want to come in and build something, we want a specific plan so we can really lock in on what it's going to be, what it's going to look like, really approve all the details. But one of the things that's happened through the years in Lebanon is that we've had specific plans approved, and then they never were built, especially during the downturn. And so there are subdivisions being built right now that were actually approved 15 years ago, or maybe longer. So last night on second reading, I presented to the city council a sunset clause. So for specific plans that we approve, if there's no action taken on them in 3 years, then they have to come back. It times out, and they have to come back to the city council because, we don't want to get in a position where a decision we make a city council in the future, they might have a different opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, a neighborhood that's being built now, this council might not have approved that, but it's already there, so it's being built. And so this sunset clause, I feels like a good way to keep us from falling that trap of something getting improved now, and then 15 years later, suddenly it pops up.
Well, I don't know how much you deliberated on the time element there, but 3 years, I guess, is pretty reasonable.
It is. We feel like that's a good time for people to get started, and frankly, if something's not being done in 3 years, I'm not sure it's ever going to be done. And, and we have several things out there, that went through the approval process, and frankly, nothing's been done. One example is, I know several years ago there was talk of Steak and Shake coming to town. Out on 231 South out by Sonic, and it got approved, went through the process. Nothing's ever been done, and frankly, I doubt it'll ever be done.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still there. This is a way to make people come back. And
do you, when they come back after 3 years, according to your legislation here, would they have to totally start all over?
They start all over.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole process start over again.
Okay. Well, then that was on first reading?
That was second reading.
Second reading.
That's official now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
all right.
official now. And then one other thing we did last night was important was a few weeks ago we approved special assessments on developers out on the South Hartman area in that watershed to really start, for any sewer or water improvements we might have in the future, those special assessments will pay for it. We feel like the development should pay for itself. Well, last night, we also started the process of doing one out the Sparta Pike corridor as well. So we're kind of doing this piece by piece, different parts of town. And the reason we're doing it that way is because different parts of town will have a different special assessment because it costs more. It costs different. We have a sewer treatment plant. Some places are further away. So if you make improvements, it might cost more in one area, might cost less in others. So we're placing different special assessments throughout town. And so last night was just a continuation of that process.
So the assessment is going to actually depend. It's going to be directly related to the cost.
Absolutely. Yeah. It'll be directly related to the cost. I mean, we're not.
In this way, you're not requiring citizens who have no dog in the hunt
exactly
to have to come up. In essence, I mean, if it's coming out of the city treasurer, the rainy day fund, or whatever.
Yeah, it's the developers will put money in, we'll set into account, and then at some point when improvements have to be made, then that's the money we'll use is what developers have put in, and we feel like that's fair. The developers are creating the impact, so so they should pay for it, and the ratepayers and citizens, they shouldn't. And so that's the process we started last month, and this is just a continuation of that process.
Well, one other question, we'll go to a break. Has there been much discussion on this, or are the developers really displeased that you do it, or they understand and accept it?
We haven't had any pushback. Nobody's really questioned it. It's just something that we started, and we gave people time to kind of talk to us about it, and we really haven't heard anything.
Okay.
So it's gone pretty smoothly.
All right, we've got to take a break right here, but more coming up with Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota. They have Red Max, complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Just a few more minutes on the paperwork on this crash out here on 65 southbound right at the North Loop. Traffic's off to a pretty good start so far, coming down I-40 through Wilson County, Smith County. A crash just happened a few minutes ago at that intersection of Trinity Lane and Brick Church Pike. I-40 East starting to build pretty good through Dixon County. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
She's taken care of you your whole life. Now it's your turn to take care of her. But with a family of your own and other responsibilities, there just aren't enough hours in the day. That's why it might be time to call the Pavilion Senior Living. From bathing, dressing, housekeeping, and meals, the Pavilion Senior Living is committed to being senior living you can trust for your loved one. Find out more at pavilionseniorliving.com or call 444-5556. That's 444-5556.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
All right, we welcome you to our program. If you're just joining us, Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is here. We are about 12 minutes away from 8 in our final segment here for this Wednesday morning. But Mayor, we've had we lose people from time to time, and we've got one you want to mention this morning.
We do, and you know, Dallas Whitfield passed away a couple of days ago after a months-long battle with cancer, and you know, there's been a lot of tributes to Dallas on Facebook and social media, and you know, everybody knew Dallas. He was a photojournalist for the Lebanon Democrat, Wilson Post for a long, long time. He worked for the Jimmy Floyd Center as well. A lot of people may not know that, and he also did some work for the Lebanon Police Department too. He loved the police department, and you know, Dallas he was a fixture in Lebanon. You see him on the sideline of a football game or graduations or special events, and you know, everybody knew Dallas and everybody loved Dallas. And but you know, me and several people, Chris Crowell and Billy Norton, who passed away back in 2020, and Robert Loftus, another friend of ours. Back in high school, we were kind of a group that hung out together a lot. We were all best friends, and you know, we've over the past few days we've talked about a lot of Dallas stories. You know, back in those days, Dallas. You know, back in high school, he drove an early '70s gold Pontiac Le Mans, and that was a big old long car, and we'd ride up and down the West Main in that car and cruise the Main, and you know, and there was some friends called that the D-mobile, you know, and you know, so we had a big time back then. You know, going to movies and playing backyard football. I told a story the other day, and Chris Crowell talked about city council last night. We were playing backyard football in Chris's backyard in high school, and Chris decided that he had the ball. He was just going to run over Dallas. You know, and Dallas is, you know, he was bigger than Chris was, and so by the time Chris got to him, Dallas just kind of stepped aside, stuck his foot out, and tripped him. And Chris went flying head first, and he hit the grass, and he slid downhill about 15 feet, you know, right on his face. And we all just kind of, you know, we were worried about him at first, then we started laughing at him. But you know, but that's a great story. And then
I got to remember that next time Chris is out.
That's right, you do. And right now here today, I was thinking that there was one night that me and Dallas and Robert, we were at my house, and it was real late, you know, and we were watching a horror movie. And we were sitting there, and it was all dark, and we were watching this movie, and we had the door closed because my parents were asleep on the other end of the house, and at least I thought they were asleep. But there at one point where it's just a real scary scene, you know, the bad guy's about to jump out, and all of a sudden there's just this loud banging on the door, and Dallas jumped out of his chair, and Robert, he jumped out of his chair, and it was my dad. He knew we were in there watching that scary movie, so he got in the middle of the night, and he came in and started banging on the door, and we all jumped, and you know, and last night I was I said some things about Dallas last night at the city council meeting. Chief Mike Justice did too. They were really good friends, and Chris did as well, and you know, last night I said, you know, our group, you know, we weren't cool by any means. We were kind of nerdy, but you know, we had a good time. You know, just hanging out together and being friends, and you know, one thing about Dallas is that you know, he had a great laugh, but you know, if you said something that he thought was kind of off-putting, he'd give you a Dallas look. You know, he had a certain look he'd give you, but if you said something funny or he said something funny, you know, one of the things I'll never remember, he wore glasses, and he would push his glasses up his nose. He'd go, "Oh, Shaw." That was Dallas's thing, you know. Whenever he said something funny, was to say that. And, you know, he'll be missed. He'll be missed by everybody, but but you know, his mom Nita, you know, she owned the Hallmark shop on the square for a long, long time, and we hung out down there. And Dallas was surrounded by photographers, had a seat studio down there, and he hang out with them, and he'd hang out at Griffiths, and then of course Bernie Ash had his studio down there, and I guess they taught Dallas how to be a photographer, because he was surrounded by photographers, and but he's going to be missed, and he's going to be missed by the whole community, but he's going to be missed by his friends too.
Well, I never was that close to him. Had him out here a few times. I believe it was when we were promoting something at Lebanon High School.
Yeah.
The graduates could buy a brick, I believe, and he was out here several times about that. But a good photographer, really nice guy, and I had a lot of respect for him.
Well, his mom, everybody just pray for her. His brother Kyle is a Metro detective, and Kyle's wife Liz. They need our prayers right now. His Dallas's dad, Joe Whitfield, passed away several years ago. Dallas's service is going to be Saturday at 1 o'clock at Sellers. There's visitation Friday night from Friday from 4 to 8, and it's. Dallas, he was a big part of this community. He really was, and I can't say enough how much he's going to be missed. I told another story last night that, when Dallas first started working for the Lebanon Democrats, sometimes we go hang out at the Democrat office with him, and that's back when you actually went to a dark room and developed photographs.
Okay.
We'd watch him do that, but one night we were in my car, and we had to stop at the square. He had to go into the Hallmark shop and get something, and all of a sudden, he came running out, and he said, "There's a fire." And so I said, "Where is he?" He said, "It's out 231 South." So we head out that way. He wanted to go to it, and I saw the fire truck up ahead. And I'll say this so Chris Dow can hear it. But there's a fire truck up ahead, so I'm driving out through there, and Dallas, he's got his camera, getting his camera ready, and all of a sudden, he looks up, and we're right behind the fire truck. I caught up with him, and I looked at him. I said, "Dallas, you want to pass him?" And he said, "No." He said, "No, we don't need to make them mad." So I kind of backed off. But sometimes those fire trucks don't go that fast, And so we caught up to him, and so I have to tell Chris Dow that at one time I almost passed a fire truck, but I wouldn't do that now.
Well, it's a good story, but at least you were transporting him to the scene where he could make pictures.
That's right. I was going to get him there.
Well, we got about 4.5 minutes. Anything else from last night's meeting?
A couple things. Philip Allison, I appointed him to the Historic Preservation Commission last night. He's been an ex officio member for several years now, and so there was openings. I felt like he needed to move up, where he can, is a voting member. So that happened last night. But also, there's a couple events coming up that I want to mention. This Saturday morning, there's a veterans breakfast at the National Guard Armory. It's a free breakfast for veterans, and they get to bring a guest as well. And that's sponsored by the Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 1004. So that's Saturday morning from 7 to 11. So I do urge all veterans to come to that. And then next Saturday on the 15th is the Martin Luther King Unity March that happens every year. That's going to start at First United Methodist Church, and that's a great event. So I urge everyone to come out, and it'll be a march and motorcade, and it's going to be a lot of people there, and so please come out and take part in that too. So that's two events coming up the next 2 Saturdays that are really important, great community events, and so please come out to those, and that's it.
Got a caller has a question for us this morning. And they ask about the Cedar Grove Cemetery sign.
Yes.
I'm not sure what they're talking about. You might explain.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of renovations out there, and there's this may be what to talk about. One of the arches fell, and Stratton Bone actually picked it up and took it to his house and kind of renovated it, and so we have it back, and we're going to put that back up, and well,
that was nice of him.
It was, it was back during the tornadoes when it came down. He picked it up, and because he knew that city officials were busy doing other things as well, and so he took care of that, and so it's back, and we're going to put it back up, and also the obelisk monuments are still being set up, and then my hope is that when the weather warms up and it gets pretty, we're going to have a kind of a re-grand opening a little bit, have a ceremony, and people come out and see the renovations been done. We've reestablished the monuments. Some of the trees that were destroyed during the tornado, we've taken care of. And
well, as I understand it, the city owns that entire cemetery.
We do.
So it's kind of up to the city to take care of.
It is. That's our cemetery. Now, the one across the street is privately owned, but this one's ours, and we take care of it. And also, we've just opened a columbarium out there, which is a more economic way for people to take care of their loved ones, and so that's available too. So if you have any questions about that, just call the cemetery office as well. But yeah, the signs are going back up, but that's not the only thing. We're doing a lot of work at Cedar Grove Cemetery.
Well, there was extensive damage.
There was
trees, some monuments down, and this sort of thing.
Yeah, the tornadoes went through there and knocked down monuments and trees, and the monuments that's really taken longer to put up than we thought. It was really hard to find a company that could actually do that, and we found one, but it's been a slow process because they want to be careful, and really make sure they do it right.
Have people been pretty understanding about that?
They have. I think they have because people saw the damage that went through, but that's important. I mean, people's loved ones are buried out there, and we want to make sure it's nice and it's pretty and.
Well, and here again, I mean, you could go maybe and do some makeshift repair work or something, but that's the permanence.
We won't do it right, and that's why we started this. Is that even though it may take a little bit longer, we want to make sure it's going to last, and that's what we're in the process of doing. But again, in the spring when it gets pretty, I want to invite everyone out and.
And to answer this caller's questions, the sign will be going back up.
It will be,
right.
Absolutely.
Well, we've come to the end of our time here this morning. It's our first one for 2022. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and thanks so much for being with us as always.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate the time you devoted to Dallas Whitfield.
Well, he was a great person.
Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell. That's it for a Wednesday. Join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.